Sales Maven listener, are you somebody who likes to be the first to know about all the best stuff? Well, here's your opportunity. By going to yoursalesmaven.com/Maven right now, not only are you going to get some incredible free resources from me on how to uplevel your sales, but you're also going to ensure that you will be one of the first people to be notified about the special offers that are coming out for Better Than Black Friday and Black Friday. Both offers have doorbusters attached, and you don't want to miss these doorbusters because they are so incredible and they're going to go fast. So to be sure you get the tea and get it first, go to yoursalesmaven.com/Maven right now and sign up.
Do sales conversations make you feel awkward or pushy? It's time to ditch the outdated salesy strategies. Your guide, Nikki will show you how to combine kindness with selling skills to meet your prospects where they are, and in the process, how to uplevel your influence and income. Learn how to earn business easily and effortlessly. Here's Nikki.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Sales Maven Show. I'm your host, Nikki, your own personal sales maven, here to offer you tips and strategies and techniques to master your sales conversations. Today's episode is a solo episode, and we're going to be talking about how to handle those tire kickers, those indecisive prospects. What are some ways that you can either turn them into committed clients and or bless and release so they are no longer being the time suck and energy suck that they can sometimes result in being. So let's talk a little bit about what is a tire kicker? You can think of this in a couple different ways, or at least I think of this in a couple different ways. It could be the people who are showing up and wanting to get on calls and pick your brain and, glean as much free stuff from you. They are people who are sending you questions. They are people who, and I'm talking about not just a question, but they continuously send you questions, expect you to answer, but they never actually pull the trigger and sign up for the program. That's kind of one version. And another version is the person who kind of keeps you on the hook of yes, I totally want to do this, but I need to wait. So can we talk again in a month? Talk again in a month. Yes, I totally am, excited about moving forward with your program, but I just can't now because I have this going on, that going on. Can we talk again in 2 months? And it just keeps going on and on and on. And at some point, you have to decide, do I bless and release? Or is there a way that I can position this, that this is kind of it? It's decision time. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And if you find yourself in these situations, you're not alone. Tire kickers are something that comes up quite a bit in coaching sessions with clients of how to handle these particular types of people that just, in my opinion, are just energy drains on you. And then figuring out who's worth it and who do I bless and release. Okay, so I kind of explained what tire kickers are. And the idea here is there something that you're doing that is encouraging that behavior and is allowing it to keep going? And if so, as I kind of go through some of these situations and talk about these scenarios and language, it's not to beat yourself up, right? That's not why I ever teach or talk about anything. It's for you to decide, is it time for me to do or say something different so that I can either help this person make that decision that they obviously, there's some part of them that wants to kind of take that next step with me, but they're holding back for some reason. So is there something I can do that will help encourage it instead of continue to support them not making a decision? Or do I need to be comfortable enough with myself, my expertise, and my business to just decide I'm no longer going to spend time and energy with this particular person because it's not a fair exchange, right? In my opinion, in sales, there should always be a balance of power. You don't get to hold all the power over prospective clients or clients because, frankly, they'll go away. They'll go find somebody else to work with. They don't get to hold all the power over you because, let's be honest, they'll take advantage of it. Not because they're bad people, but because this is human nature. They'll not value what it is that you bring to the table. So it's learning to balance out the dynamic, the power dynamic, without it being like, you don't have to be forceful about it, yet you do have to have some clear boundaries and set yourself up for this. So one of the things that is so important to do to set clear expectations, if you are going to get on a call with somebody and maybe you've had a couple calls with them and they keep postponing making a decision, you want to start with a pre-frame. Now, I recommend starting with a pre-frame for your consult calls, your circle back calls, any of these follow-up calls when you get on a, if you're getting into a live conversation with somebody, you want to start with a pre-frame. There is a particular pre-frame that you can use when we've had a few conversations and they still haven't pulled the trigger. They're being indecisive. So here is an example of what I recommend, and I have used this myself. I might say, the purpose of today's call is to answer any last questions you have, and then we'll decide today whether or not we're going to continue on and work together. So that's part of the pre-frame, and I'm going to state that. Now, years ago, I had somebody who was kind of in this same situation where we had a few circle back calls and they just weren't making the decision. And I just got a sense that they just weren't really, I don't know. I needed to change something about what I was doing because what I was doing wasn't helping this person get what they were so telling me they needed. I knew they needed coaching. I knew I could make a difference in their business. And yet there was something that was holding this person back. And as soon as I said what I just said to you, the purpose of our call today is to have, this final discussion, answer any last questions that come to mind, and then make a decision whether or not we're working together. She stopped what she was doing and she was like, wait, are you saying that if I don't decide today that I won't be able to hire you? And I just said to her, I'm actually not saying that you won't be able to hire me. I'm just saying we won't be scheduling any more circle back calls. And then I'm going to give you some other language that I gave here in just a second as I kind of go into this conversation with her. But that set the stage and it kind of, in a way, put her on notice. Now, end result, she did hire me on that call and was a client for, year and a half, 2 years. Fantastic client, still refers clients to me to this day, gives me, tons of accolades about the way that I helped her in her business, and her business is booming and thriving, and she's a rock star. And she just needed that little extra push. And not in an unkind way, not in a aggressive or pushy way, but in a way to just say I've got boundaries and these are what they are. And I'm happy to work with you, but this is it. So you can do this. And if you're not doing this now, it might be time. So there will be times where you might say this to somebody and they're not ready. They're still not ready to make a decision. And that's okay. But then it becomes time to bless and release. So I think about bless and release as being, I'm essentially saying we're not going to be lobbing this ball back and forth anymore. It's kind of like you think you're playing tennis and you hit the ball and then they don't hit it back. And so you go around the court, you pick it up, you walk back to your, part of the court, and then you lob the ball to them again. And then they don't actually lob it back. So at some point, bless and release to me is like going and actually handing the person the ball and saying, here's the ball, you own it. And should you decide when you're ready to work together, please know you're welcome to reach out to me. That is the bless and release. You've got the ball, you own it. I don't believe in chasing clients. And if I feel like I have to chase somebody in order to earn their business, I usually find that those are the worst clients to work with. And if they end up hiring me, and or I'm just frustrated, right? Because there's something about them that's keeping them from taking action. And I know for a fact that clients, when they hire me that are ready to implement, they get amazing results. This is why I constantly say implementers get results. And I truly want to work with implementers. It's frustrating to work with people who aren't. I'm not attached to them not implementing everything that I give, but at the same time, like I expect people to earn their money back when they work with me, right? But they actually have to do the work. Like I'm not doing it for them. I'm not doing the selling for them. So that's important. Now, when I think about this bless and release, here's an example of something I might say to somebody. I might say, if you're not ready now, I respect that. You are welcome to reach out to me when you are ready to move forward. And, this will be our last follow up. So I'll wait to hear from you when you're ready. So that's me saying, here's the ball, you own it. Okay. And I also refer to this as like playing cat. I had this conversation with a coaching client yesterday, and I was telling her based on the situation that she was having, that I recommended that she play a little cat right now. If you've heard me talk about creating curiosity, I talk about dog calling versus cat calling. And this is not exactly the same, but the dog calling energy is like dogs, they'll take your attention anytime you'll get it. Cats will take your attention, but you've got to come to them. And so when I say playing cat, it's like me pulling back a little bit and then saying, if you want to play, if you want to move forward, you have to take the action. So again, you have the ball, you actually have to lob it. I'm no longer going to come around the court, pick it up and, go back to my station and hit it back to you. Like, we're not going to play this game anymore. I'm going to play cat. I'm going to take a step back. And that sometimes gives people relief because now they don't have to just tell you or admit that they're not ready to move forward. So they'll feel some relief about being able to just let it die. Or what can often happen is when you pull back, people will be like, oh, wait, I'm actually ready. So with the client who said to me, wait, are you saying that we won't be having any more calls and, I'm not going to be able to work with you? And I said to her in this moment, I just said, the best clients and the ones who see results are the people who are ready to implement change in their business now. So if you're ready, I'm so in and I would be honored to work with you. But that means we've got to make a decision. So that's kind of where we're at. And then again, like I said, she hired me on that call. She was in and she was really in. Like she was such a great implementer, but I had to like set that boundary up and set the stage. Now, if I say to somebody, the best clients are the ones who are ready to implement, who are ready for change. And if that's you, I'd be so honored to get started. I'm really excited about what's possible for you with your business when we increase your close rate or whatever it is that they said that they wanted. So is that something you're ready to move forward with? So I'm going to issue that invitation. And in this particular case, the client was like, yeah, like I'm totally in. But I have said this to people before and they're like, yeah, I still need some time to think about it. So then I just say like, please know you're welcome to reach out to me when you are ready. I'll be excited to hear from you. So I'm not shaming. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad about not moving forward, but I'm also saying like, I'm not going to chase you. I'm going to play a little cat. If you want me, you have to come back. And the great thing about this is clients, prospects, they do come back because I leave the door open so they can come back. But the tire kickers, the people who are just like, I just want to ask you this one last question, Nikki. If you could just give me your advice about this, if you could just tell me what strategy or what to say here, if you could just help me with this script, those are the people that, it's like, it's not actually serving them for me to continue to answer their questions. So when you find yourself in these types of situations with the people who are just like, I'm not quite ready to move forward, but I really need your help on XYZ. You got to stop coaching. You have to stop giving free advice for the people who are just like sucking it up because you're essentially saying to them, you don't actually need to take action now because I'm just going to give this to you for free. And I hope you know this about yourself and about your business and about your expertise. When you give somebody this little like nugget, I always call this the grain of sand. You give them this grain of sand, they think they don't need to hire you, but you know it's just one grain of sand. And when they do hire you, they get access to the full beach. That one grain of sand is, that's nothing compared to the millions and billions of grains of sand that you can bring as far as expertise, advice, resources into their business or into their life, if depending on what they're doing. So you're not actually doing them a service by giving this grain of sand. And some tire kickers will just continue to suck you dry until they feel like, well, I got everything for free, so I don't need to hire her. As a matter of fact, years ago, I think I might have shared this on the podcast before. I found that I was giving away so much stuff for free that I think one week I had like 7 different people ask me to just help them with something. They didn't actually want to pull the trigger and sign up for coaching with me. They just wanted help on something. And when I looked at the amount of time that I was spending just helping people for free, it was hours of my time. And that's not good business, right? And I just found this wasn't good for them either. So what I did is I started offering spotlight coaching sessions. They're 15 minutes. So this can I just pick your brain? Or Nikki, can you just answer this one question for me? Yes, I have a spotlight coaching session. It's 15 minutes. Here's the price for it. Here's the link. You can get signed up. I'd be happy to work with you on that. Now, 9 out of 10 clients or prospects, when they ask me for free stuff and I send them the link to the spotlight coaching session, they don't sign up for it. But what they do is they go away because they now recognize that in order to get answers to these questions, they have to pay for it. And that shows me they weren't really serious prospects anyway. So blessing and releasing those types of people out of my business, I have no problem with. I'm so happy to. Now, the 1 out of 10 people that sign up for the spotlight coaching sessions, I can do a lot in 15 minutes. If you've had a spotlight coaching session with me, we can sometimes create whole offers. Sometimes I can restructure, all kinds of things that I can do. So I'm not going to go into so much detail about it, but I do a lot for somebody in 15 minutes. It's huge value to people, and they're able to go and immediately implement whatever it is that we worked on. As a matter of fact, I just did a training this week for somebody who I have great admiration for. She's been a longtime client off and on over the years. And now when she needs something, she books spotlight coaching sessions with me. And she's like, I can't believe what we get done. She actually said this in the training that I did for her group this week. She was like, I book spotlight coaching sessions with Nikki. Now I know her business, so it doesn't take much. She's not having to spend any of those 15 minutes explaining her core business because I know it. And we do a lot and it's huge value, right? And so she doesn't have any qualms about signing up for it. I love spotlight coaching sessions. And if you don't offer something like this, and if you're getting a lot of people just trying to time suck you and get your expertise for free, it might actually make sense for you to have this in place. Now, again, not very many people are going to take you up on it, but it will give you back so much time and energy and mental space from always trying to answer those questions for the tire kickers, the time suckers. So there's hopefully a nugget for you if you're feeling overwhelmed with this type of situation in your business of something that you can do. Now, that kind of concludes what I wanted to cover with you today, this idea of pre-framing that this will be our last time and it's time to make a decision to stop chasing, play a little cat, let people know hey, if you're ready, I'm ready. I know we can, make some impact in your business or your life. And here's what it takes to get started. And not just giving people who are continuously asking for stuff for free to take that next step with you. It's probably hurting your business and hurting your mental, state of mind than it is helping the people. I believe in being generous, love the concept, and try really, really, that's actually a core value of mine, generosity, to be generous. And I look for opportunities to be generous. But the one thing I won't do is be forced by anybody else to be generous about something. So I make those decisions about what I'm going to be generous about, who I'm going to give something extra to, or where are those places. And that keeps me feeling really good about my generosity and keeps me from feeling like drained and overwhelmed. Not that I don't get myself in those situations. Like I've had plenty of people who will like absolutely suck me dry. Have one of those situations I've been dealing with for a while. And these like they're not handling it well. Now that the valve has been shut off, they're not handling it well. And I'm doing everything I can to just bless and release and remove them in any possible way from my life. And you can do that too. It's your life, it's your business, it's your boundaries. All right, I am wishing you continued success. If you found any part of this episode helpful, let me know. What was your aha, or what was your takeaway from today? And if you know of anybody else who would benefit from this, please share the episode. I'm so flattered and honored when people are willing to let other people know about the podcast. And it's delightful to have people who've been listening for a really long time. And it's also really fun to have somebody say like, hey, I just discovered your podcast. So anything you're willing to do to share it, I'd be really honored. So thank you so much. All right. Go out there, stand in your place of expertise, knowledge, and don't let people just time suck you. No more tire kickers. All right. Wishing you continued success. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Sales Maven. Visit us online at yoursalesmaven.com/maven for more resources to boost your confidence and skills.
Are you ready to increase your confidence in your sales conversations? I have a gift for you that is going to show you exactly how to do that. It is my Closing the Sale ebook. It's all about leveling up your confidence, giving you language to use, how to seamlessly move somebody through the sales process. And you can get it right now by going to yoursalesmaven.com/Maven. Go grab it.